Okay. In the 1950s, there was something called Project Oaktree. Project Oaktree, this is the truth about Project Oaktree. Project Oaktree, the oak tree itself is symbolic of Lucifer. They use the term oak tree. Oak tree is synonymous with Lucifer. So in the the controlling power that has at this time power over this planet is aware that there are very, very, very powerful beings. I don't know what you would want to call them, demigods, gods, whatever you want to call them. That there was an influx of them coming. So they didn't know where and when they were going to be here, but they needed to find a way of tracking them. Through sexual union between a male and a female, energy is then sent up and vibrates up through frequencies. They have technology to be able to see where, and then a soul is then attracted to a lifetime. A soul will then come to the womb of the mother, and they can track this. They can track this. So I'm going to address two different projects. Two projects that I feel are significant, that I think that everybody should know about. Okay, so Project Oaktree was because this reptilian vampiric consciousness that has control of this planet is basically a fear-based. They are a fear-based consciousness. If they weren't a fear-based consciousness, they wouldn't need to control everything. If you're in fear, you have to control everything around you. If you are centered and balanced in yourself, you don't need to control things around you. So I'm going to address this. So Project Oaktree is connected to Project Ibis.
Projekt Oaktree, czyli dąb, jest związany z projektem Ibis.
Okay, and there is my connection to James Casbolt.
I stąd się bierze moje powiązanie z Jamesem Casboltem.
42 children were selected from mothers that were born in the 1950s. So the children would then be born between 1972 and 1978. So the mothers were born in the 50s, and their children would then be born between 1972 and 1978. They were all male. There's no females.
Wszyscy byli chłopcami.
Because they're looking for okay, so male energy is explosive, creative, external creative energy. Female energy is receptive, nurturing energy. So they're looking for male energy because it's the male energy that externally builds the world around us. So, out of the 42 children, they were looking for these. This is the Anunnaki who put this project together.
Anunnakowie zarządzali tym projektem.
They did it out of fear because they knew that these beings were coming to this planet, and they needed to make sure that they had their hands on and had control of these particular beings. They didn't know which ones were going to be which. They didn't know. Some were hidden. Some are put into the entertainment industry, and some have been hidden throughout their lives. As time has gone on, more powerful light beings are incarnating, and more powerful dark beings are incarnating. It's becoming more and more and more, and building. So this particular project, what they did is they, because the Anunnaki are genetic masters, they are genetic masters on every level. So they went to the pyramids at Giza. They also went to the pyramids all over the planet, and they took. You want to go? Yeah. So what they had done is they had, remembering this consciousness, this Anunnaki consciousness, has a complete understanding of the inner Earth and the surface Earth. So they know exactly where all the energy grid lines are, all the ley lines, all the dragon lines, and they know where for example, they know where Ramesses was buried. They know where they were all buried. So they went and took pieces of DNA, okay, from different ones. They took pieces of DNA, then they put them together, and then they put them into a womb, a carrier, a female carrier. Okay, so in doing that, the oak tree was to find the female carriers in the 1950s for the females. They had to be specific females that would be able to carry such powerful beings. They were looking for, and whether or not you believe in these deities, it doesn't matter. For me, this is my perspective, and I'm giving my perspective, okay? They were looking for specific beings. So it's called Oak Tree because, I mean, they were looking for a number of different beings, but they were primarily looking for Lucifer.
Nazwany jest projektem Dąb, dlatego że owszem szukano różnych istot, ale przede wszystkim szukano Lucyfera.
Because they're following revelations from the Bible as a script. So they're following it to a T as a script. So they are looking for that child that was born in the 70s to then continue I suppose you could possibly call, I don't know this for a fact, but I suppose you could possibly call Lucifer maybe the Antichrist. I don't know. That's a possibility. And so they needed to make sure that they got that correct. There are very wealthy people behind the scenes, not known, behind the scenes, who use the female line and the male line to in sexual union to and sex magic to create reality. They have had an understanding throughout all time, and they do understand now, perfectly refined, that sex magic is a cheat way of creating reality very quickly. It's like a hack. It's like a computer hack to create reality quickly. It's like hacking reality, hacking the matrix reality to build whatever you want. Everybody in the room has a certain amount of chi, energy, and some more than others. And so these particular children that were born have very, 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 very high amount of energy. So then if they pair them off with specific, they pair a male off with a specific female, and then they put them in a sexual union, then they are able to build businesses, companies, that's very, very, very quickly. That makes sense. I'm trying here.
Out of the great deep were they called by the wisdom of earthmen, called for the purpose of gaining great power. Far in the past, before Atlantis existed, men there were who delved into darkness, using dark magic, calling up beings from the great deep below us. Forth came they into this cycle, formless were they of another vibration, existing unseen by the children of earthmen. Only through blood could they have formed being, only through man could they live in the world. In ages past were they conquered by masters, driven below to the place whence they came. But some there were who remained, hidden in spaces and plains unknown to man. Lived they in Atlantis as shadows, but at times they appeared among men. Aye, when the blood was offered, for they came they to dwell among men. In the form of man they amongst us, but only to sight were they as our men, serpent-headed when the glamour was lifted, but appearing to man as men among men. Crept they into the councils, taking forms that were like unto men, slaying by their arts the chiefs of the kingdoms, taking their form and ruling over man. Only by magic could they be discovered. Only by sound could their faces be seen. sought they from the kingdom of shadows to destroy man and rule in his place. But know ye, the masters were mighty in magic, able to lift the veil from the face of the serpent, able to send him back to his place. Came they to man and taught him the secret, the word that only a man can pronounce. Swift then they lifted the veil from the serpent and cast him forth from the place among men. Yet beware, the serpent still liveth, in a place that is open at times to the world. Unseen they walk among thee, in places where the rites have been said. Again, as time passes onward, shall they take the semblance of men. Called may they be by the Master, who knows the white or the black, but only the white Master may control and bind them while in the flesh. Seek not the kingdom of shadows, for evil will surely appear, for only the Master of brightness shall conquer the shadow of fear.